That's why Social Security and Medicare are more important than ever. We shouldn't weaken them, we should strengthen them. And for Americans short of retirement, basic benefits should be just as mobile as everything else is today. That, by the way, is what the Affordable Care Act is all about. It's about filling the gaps in employer-based care so that when you lose a job, or you go back to school, or you strike out and launch that new business, you'll still have coverage. Nearly 18 million people have gained coverage so far. And in the process, healthcare inflation has slowed, and our business.
That's why we couldn't afford to not act fast and alleviate any or all the concerns of them with no coverage and more than a few bruises, cuts, and burns. And the doctors in and were still standing tall to make house calls. That's why 18 million were brave and bold to cross that threshold and consider what could help them in transition to a new business or position while in school or as they get old. And the doctors in and were still standing tall to make house calls. The Affordable Care Act may not be a benefit to all, however, from many, we've received a compliment because it serves as a strong supplement for them waiting for a medical bill with very little excitement. And the doctors in and were still standing tall to make house calls. And since it became law, healthcare inflation has taken a vacation, along with the economy's hesitation and elevation.
Now, I'm guessing we won't agree on healthcare anytime soon. But, oh, applause right there. Just a guess. But there should be other ways parties can work together to improve economic security. Say a hard-working American loses his job. We shouldn't just make sure that he can get unemployment insurance. We should make sure that program encourages him to retrain for a business that's ready to hire him. If that new job doesn't pay as much, there should be a system of wage insurance in place so that he can still pay his bills. And even if he's going from job to job, he should still be able to save for retirement and take his savings with him. That's the way we make the new economy work better for everybody.
We won't ever agree, or ever eye to eye see, because more than a few want Obama and his Obamacare crew to stop what they try, and in a year or so just say goodbye. We know. We've seen the grimace on your face and the discontent that you wanted to show. And, if we really had to, we could exchange a placating pretty please, or just wait for one of your uncovered constituents to blow a sneeze, or spread their disease. Will you then reach for that vote, shake that hand, and hug that head, until you yourself were the one who was sick in bed? Huh? Because inquiring minds want to know. Refusals will never change America's reality. The same reality that's like a rubber band, with an exceeding demand, as we stretch our economic security and cover the employed, unemployed, and them awaiting a new career opportunity so that they're deployed. Like health insurance serves as an umbrella during a questionable time, a wealth-producing wage insurance should allow a person to keep paying on time and preserving every earned dime.
I also know Speaker Ryan has talked about his interest in tackling poverty. America is about giving everybody willing to work a chance, a hand up. And I'd welcome a serious discussion about strategies we can all support, like expanding tax cuts for low-income workers who don't have children. But there are some areas where we just have to be honest. It has been difficult to find agreement over the last 7 years. And a lot of them fall under the category of what role the government should play in making sure the system's not rigged in favor of the wealthiest and biggest corporations. And it's an honest disagreement. And the American people have a choice to make.
Mr. Microphone, we welcome a discussion and are always willing to cultivate a chance to enhance the positive opinion or suggested strategies that'll peel back poverty like an onion. We want to offer single working parents the hand that'll reach lower, with a heart that's on fire by tax cutting higher, so America is filled with more buyers and sellers than barters and beggars. Got it. Good. Let's get it done. We must sustain the strength to safeguard a system that should equally share support among the greedy and needy. Got it. Good. Let's get it done. We must create a greater chance for a civil society and corporation to share a dance. Got it. Good. Let's get it done. Today, we must understand that as the elected and chosen few, we always have an abounding obligation to prioritize any policy examination. Got it. Good. Let's get it done. We must reiterate the revelation, requiring an emendation to reveal a hidden segregation of profits and power that'll cause the last person standing to fall short in their last hour. Got it. Good. Let's get it done.
I believe a thriving private sector is the lifeblood of our economy. I think there are outdated regulations that need to be changed. There is red tape that needs to be cut. There you go. Yeah. See? But after years now of record corporate profits, working families won't get more opportunity or bigger paychecks just by letting big banks or big oil or hedge funds make their own rules at everybody else's expense. The middle-class families are not going to feel more secure because we allowed a tax on collective bargaining to go unanswered.
A thriving private sector is good and greater when community partnerships are well received now and even later. Got it. Good. Let's get it done. We must help more working families be squared away and well able to have food in the fridge or on their food tray. Got it. Good. Let's get it done. Ballers and shot callers, like big oil and the big bank that loves to pull rank, should learn to play nice until parity and peace is released in an all-encompassing collective bargaining plan that'll never forget to stand up for the forgotten woman or man. Got it. Good. Let's get it done.
Food stamp recipients did not cause the financial crisis. Recklessness on Wall Street did. Immigrants aren't the principal reason wages haven't gone up. Those decisions are made in the boardrooms that all too often put quarterly earnings over long-term returns. It's sure not the average family watching tonight that avoids paying taxes through offshore accounts. The point is, I believe that in this new economy, workers and startups and small businesses need more of a voice, not less. The rules should work for them. And I'm not alone in this. This year I plan to lift up the many businesses who figured out that doing right by their workers or their customers or their communities ends up being good for their shareholders. And I want to spread those best practices across America. That's part of a brighter future. In fact, it turns out many of our best corporate citizens are also our most creative. And this brings me to the second big question we as a country have to answer. How do we reignite that spirit of innovation to meet our biggest challenges?
It's 2020 like clear that food stamps have always and will continue to feed, but they've never financially fed greed. It's 2020th and we're on it. Been there, done that, went there, and saw that. The wall on Wall Street didn't break the banks, but it was bent a while, until big business had to reach out for a lifeline and a bailout by Dial. It's 2020th and we're on it. Been there, done that, went there, and saw that. Americans require more equality, and liberty, and prosperity, and a lot more than the after effects of what Lincoln pulled out of his top hat. It's 2020th and we're on it. Like Dikembe Mutombo's no, 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 don't blame the long-term visitor, who's a major economic contributor, for any declines at the register, and demand that they go. It's 2020th and we're on it. Don't believe the hype because it's hyphenated and abbreviated, and untrue, that some alien asked of you to pick up the phone and call this country's white-colored home. It's 2020th and we're on it. And don't ever declare that our prosperity is gone, and there's never enough to go on, or to help us get along, to right wages that may have gone wrong. It's 2020th and we're on it. Stop your corporate surfing in offshore accounts, and allow the worker to harness happier days and harvest more multiple amounts. It's 2020th and we're on it. We must always help the American business thrive, instead of just survive, by fostering an open channel of communication that'll better disseminate information to ensure higher levels of collaboration. It's still 2020th and we're up on it. We'll raise the business's banner in an award-winning manner to thank the company for thinking about the other, because what's good for the goose should also be good for the gander, and what goes around is bound to come back around. It's still 2020th and we're all on it. We'll have to raise our corporate standards to practice what we preach, and to pass along those protocols and best practices that America should teach. It's still 2020th and we're all over it.
60 years ago, when the Russians beat us into space, we didn't deny Sputnik was up there. We didn't argue about the science or shrink our research and development budget. We built a space program almost overnight, and 12 years later, we were walking on the moon.
All ages 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy, we're asking Americans to consider more of an attitude of awesomeness and awareness that'll contradict any position that's lazy. You can do this. All ages 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy, we're asking Americans to congratulate their country for recognizing Russia's lead in the space program and responding ASAP to develop an MJ moonwalk diagram. You can do this.
That spirit of discovery is in our DNA. America is Thomas Edison and the Wright brothers and George Washington Carver. America is Grace Hopper and Katherine Johnson and Sally Ride. America is every immigrant and entrepreneur from Boston to Austin to Silicon Valley racing to shape a better future. That's who we are. And over the past 7 years, we've nurtured that spirit. We've protected an open internet and taken bold new steps to get more students and low-income Americans online. We've launched next-generation manufacturing hubs and online tools that give an entrepreneur everything he or she needs to start a business in a single day.
All ages 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy. We're asking Americans to be fruitful and multiply those methodologies, which lead us towards more scientific discoveries. You can do this. All ages 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy. We're asking the next American Einstein, Benjamin Franklin, and Alexander Graham Bell to go deeper in knowledge to catch the next big idea that's a whale. You can do this. All ages 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy. We're asking Americans to believe more in their ingenuity and intuition, to produce the next groundbreaking invention, or become the next Mae Jemison, Sally Ride, and Katherine Johnson. You can do this. We're the embodiment of an entrepreneurial spirit that'll extend around the world to beckon the intelligent immigrant boy and girl. That's digital love. We're the innovator, dreamer, and ponderer who's technologically advancing times to revolutionize today, tomorrow, and beyond yonder. That's digital love. From the harbor to the desert to the valley, we're pumped and prepped for the latest and greatest tech rally. That's digital love. We'll be the broadcaster and bullhorn who'll echo reminders for both the lost and finders, who we encourage to reveal the unknown by shedding their blinders. That's digital love. We've been a global bodyguard to safeguard an exposed internet that the world built by working unbelievably hard. That's digital love. On your mark, ready, set, and go is how we proclaimed that we were so gung-ho to prepare the next generation to know, so that an enterprise wouldn't have to trudge to a deceptive us like the scarecrow. That's digital love.
We've already created 800,000 new manufacturing jobs without this law, before the law kicks in. With this new law, we're going to create hundreds of thousands of new jobs across the country. And I mean all across the country. Throughout not just the coast, but through the middle of the country as well. That's going to come from companies that have announced more than $300 billion in investment in American manufacturing over the next few years. Outside of Columbus, Ohio, Intel is building semiconductor factories on 1,000 acres, literally a field of dreams. It's going to create 10,000 jobs, that one investment. 7,000 construction jobs. 3,000 jobs in those factories once they're finished. They call them factories. Jobs paying an average of $130,000 a year, and many do not require a college degree. Jobs. Because we work together, these jobs where people don't have to leave home to search for opportunity. It's just getting started.
Already on the hook are 800,000 jobs that manufacturers took. With the new decree, it's the key to unleash on the horizon hundreds of thousands of more opportunities to earn for more family fun. Companies are spilling their pot of gold to answer the call and release American jobs that are on hold. And we have our own field of dreams. On my mind all the time are Intel's intelligent team. A slew of opportunities birthed from that very act to keep employment rates solid, steady, and intact. There's a lot of chances to earn six figures, to make life plans a whole lot bigger. Remote work is still on the up, bringing the work next to the computer in teacup. We're just starting to flow with our green light go. Subscribe and stay tuned for more episodes from this video series.